The gloriously unhinged truth about the mantis shrimp, and why you should never ever try to high-five one. Meet Todd, the mantis shrimp. Todd is that guy at the gym. You know the one. He wears a cut-off tank top, dry swallows his pre, screams during curls, and drops his weights just to make sure everyone's watching. You see, the mantis shrimp operates at a baseline frequency of pure, unprovoked hostility. With that vibrant rainbow armor, you might think he's just a colorful, goofy jester of the coral reef. But trying to befriend one is like trying to pet a live hand grenade. You see that little innocent crab over there minding its own business? Wham! Closed casket for you, my friend. You see, the mantis shrimp doesn't hunt its prey. It subjects it to overwhelming blunt force trauma. It's less of a pursuit and more of an underwater shock and awe campaign. So, how does a creature the size of a hot dog do that? Well, throwing a punch that fast underwater is basically impossible. The water resistance turns your absolute best left hook into a sad, slow noodle flap. To crack heavy crab armor underwater, you need to somehow bend the laws of physics to your will. And Todd didn't just bring a gun to a knife fight. Todd brought a biological railgun. You see, muscle tissue alone simply cannot contract fast enough to generate the kind of force needed to shatter a solid shell. It's physically impossible. So Todd relies on a little something called latch-mediated spring actuation. Go ahead, whisper that sweet biomechanical jargon into my ear. It's the exact kind of phrase guaranteed to make physics nerds like us feel a tingle in our pocket protectors, am I right? Subscribe if I'm right and join the club. You see, the mantis shrimp's elbows are literally like crossbows. That was more of a metaphor, but anyway. He locks his arm in place and slowly contracts a muscle against a saddle-shaped chunk of his exoskeleton, building up a terrifying amount of tension. When he finally releases the latch, the club accelerates to 50 miles per hour, underwater. But the physical punch isn't even the worst part. The shrimp's club moves so incredibly fast that it literally tears the water apart, creating a boiling low-pressure void called a cavitation bubble. When that bubble immediately collapses, it unleashes a secondary shock wave that generates a flash of light and temperatures rivaling the surface of the sun. This sheer kinetic energy hits harder than a winter pothole on the highway. Even if Todd's physical club completely misses the crab by a few millimeters, that secondary shock wave alone acts like a concussive grenade. Now you might be asking, wait, Sir Isaac Newton said every action has an equal and opposite reaction, and that's right. And if Todd is hitting with the force of a .22 caliber bullet, shouldn't his own arm explode? Yeah, it absolutely should. But Todd's murder myths are wrapped in something called a Bouligand structure. It's a microscopic spiral staircase of chitin fibers that acts as an advanced phononic shield. It specifically traps and filters out the catastrophic high-frequency shock waves, diffusing the kinetic energy before it rips his own skeleton apart. It's an absolute masterpiece of impact engineering. But you can't cheat physics forever. Over time, all that blunt force trauma takes a toll and the clubs get pitted. They microfracture. And to fix them, well, the shrimp has to molt, shedding its entire exoskeleton. And this is where the Jim Bro of the reef experiences a massive, humiliating reality check. For days after molting, his terrifying, over-engineered armor is the consistency of wet, single-ply toilet paper. If he tries to punch anything, well, just try punching something with a wet noodle. You get it. So the hardest hitter in the ocean is suddenly reduced to a paranoid jelly-like snack, terrified of his own shadow, forced to cower in a dark tube until his ceramic weapons harden up. And while he's sitting in that dark pipe staring out at the world, let's talk about the biggest illusion of all. The eyes. Look at those crazy shattered disco balls. You probably read that because humans have 3 color receptors and the mantis shrimp have 12, Todd is out there seeing the psychedelic multiverse of colors we can't even comprehend. Yeah, well, not so much. You see, the mantis shrimp's brain is way too small to process that kind of high-def math. His color vision is actually shockingly terrible, worse than a bee's. Todd just uses his 12 receptors as a blunt force scanner to quickly shove things into broad categories without analyzing them. Kind of a waste, am I right? The mantis shrimp didn't evolve to be an art critic. It traded high-def nuance for raw, hyper-aggressive target acquisition. He doesn't need to know if that crab is cerulean or aquamarine. He just needs to know exactly where it is so he can turn it into a memory. So respect the mantis shrimp. a creature that traded its vision and dignity for the sheer joy of punching things so hard the ocean boils. Like and subscribe, will ya? Or I'll send the Gym Bro shrimp. Sleep tight, and we'll see you next time.